Hey family, Dad here. Hope you're having a great day. On this video, just wanted to talk about how you should have an emergency fund and understand your expenses first before you start investing. Now, I'm 49 years old. I've shared on plenty of videos just the 9 jobs I've had, been laid off 4 times, and just kind of what my net worth looks like last couple of years. But one thing I do kind of look back on when I was younger, meaning in my 20s essentially, is doing a few adjustments that I should have made before I started contributing to my 401k. Now, I contributed to my 401k around 5%, like literally when I first started my job out of college. I think I did about 5% contribution, and I think the company at the time contributed like 2%, 3%. I don't remember off the top of my head, but they did contribute a little bit. It wasn't crazy. And I struggled. I struggled a lot financially, especially when I got married and I started having kids. 2 kids before the age of 30, things really, really got real as far as costs, expenses, all that. To the point where I racked up, $30,000 in credit card debt. And I was struggling to make it paycheck to paycheck. And I think that's just kind of this norm for young adults when they're trying to get into the real world the first 5-10 years of their life. But I'm here to just kind of share what I would have done differently and had a more sense of urgency. So I think 401k is very important. I think you should definitely start early, at least the contribution, what the company contributes. But I think there's a couple other things that you should do before you even start contributing. The first one is having an emergency fund. I think that is 100% critical to have, especially in this day and age. You never know when your sole income, if you only have one income, your job is going to end. In this environment today, layoffs are rampant, jobs are scarce, and you just never know. And I learned that after my first layoff, where I really didn't have an emergency fund. And I was really anxious. I was nervous. I just didn't know what was going to happen. You never know when your next job's going to come if you get laid off. You hope and you work hard to make sure the gap isn't that big in between jobs, but you never know. And I've noticed just after my second, third, and fourth layoff that having an emergency fund really, really gives you a little more cushion, a little more sense of relief of the unknown. Having that as a priority and just saving, even if it's $100 a month or $50 a month, and building it up. And don't use it for anything except for emergencies. Emergencies meaning your car breaks down unexpectedly, those types of things. Or you have a medical emergency that you need to tap into the emergency fund. Or you lose your job and you need to tap into the emergency fund. Those are the kind of 911s that you would use your emergency fund for. You wouldn't use it for, I need this outfit for an event, or I need to go out to celebrate with my friends. That's not what it's for. It's for true emergencies that do happen in life. Put away $50, $20, $100 per month and don't touch it. Use a high yield savings account. There's plenty out there. If you go on nerdwallet.com or I think even creditcards.com, they can show you the high yield accounts and what they're paying as far as interest. It's not hard to open up. It's just like opening up any other account. And then you link your checking account where your paychecks come in or are direct deposited. And you can link that checking account to the high yield savings account. And you can make that transfer every month. Having that will definitely bring you a little more relief, a little more cushion, and a little less anxiety. Number 2 is understanding your expenses. Do you know where your money goes? Do you know where your paycheck goes every month? A lot of people don't, and you wonder why that you're going paycheck to paycheck. I've been using a budget tracker, probably for 7-8 years now. I understand to the T where exactly my money's going. Essentially, I look at it as just running a corporation, running your own business under your house, under your apartment, and understanding where the expenses are at. Now, typically rent, food, car is probably the 3 highest expenses if you don't have kids. And making an accurate check and seeing where your money is going to be critical on when you need to make adjustments financially. You'll be surprised on how much food you spend. You'll be surprised on how much gas you spend. And it may make sense to make adjustments, eating at home more, cooking at home, shopping for cheaper items at the grocery store, making a list before you go to the grocery store, or shopping online and then just going to the store and picking up your items, what you ordered online, versus navigating throughout the whole store and picking out random things that you don't really need. Understanding your car expenses. I was surprised last year in 2024 how many high expense items cost on my car. I had 3 cars at the time under my name, but I did give them to my kids. But it was just amazing, like how many expenses, unexpected expenses were happening. And some of them are maintenance, some of them are unexpected repairs, but they will come at you. So be very mindful of that. You do these 2 things and then you start investing, life will be a lot easier for you. I know there's the old saying that you should invest and do at least the company match, and that's okay too, but you should also be very, very mindful in having an emergency fund and also tracking your expenses, knowing where your money goes. So tell me your thoughts. Do you think having an emergency fund or understanding where your money goes is critical to knowing your overall finances? Comment, like, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate it. So that's all I got. I'll see you all at the next video.